Hi ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another section of the course, okay? So in this particular section, we're going to talk about how to gain muscle, okay? And as you guys know, muscle is not bulky, okay? I know a lot of people think, especially women nowadays, right? They think that muscle is bulky, right? It can get bulky, but that's not the case, okay? If you look at the anatomy of the muscle, it's extremely lean, and that's exactly what it is, right? It's very lean. Even when you gain more muscle, as you gain more muscle, it just gets thicker, it gets longer. It doesn't get bulky, okay? The bulk on top that you see is the fat, okay? So if you're a female lifter, right, if you're worried about getting bulky, don't. Of course, there are some things that you need to consider, and I will talk about those a little bit later. I'm sorry about my cat. So if you're a female lifter and you're worried about getting bulky, then I will tell you some strategies that you can take in order not to get bulky, okay? Getting bulky is really, it's not about lifting. It's not how much you lift, right? Or really how much you exercise. Bulkiness comes from fat, from having too much fat on top of the muscle, okay? That can happen, okay, especially as a newbie trainer, right? If you're a newbie trainer, if you're new to weightlifting, and as you start to lift heavier, right, you might because you're able to gain muscle and lose fat at the same time, right? As a new trainee, right? Then what that can sometimes mean is that you will gain muscle just a little bit faster than you're losing weight or losing fat, which means that your fat, your muscle will push the fat up and it will seem like, initially it will seem like you're getting bulkier, okay? And that's not true, okay? It can seem this way initially. That's why you have to be patient with the process, okay? Trust the process, trust that you will lose the fat at some point, and your body will reach that equilibrium, right? And the fat loss will catch up, okay? And as the fat loss catches up, you will start seeing more definition in your body. You will start seeing more of your shape reveal itself, okay? And it's gonna be beautiful, trust me. It's going to be stunning, it's gonna be beautiful, it's gonna be very surprising to you. You just have to give it time, okay? So you will get bigger, okay, before you get smaller, okay? And that's, for the reasons that I just mentioned, okay? So just give it time and trust the process, okay? So guys, in this video we're going to be talking about what you can do, the things that you can do in order to, and the things that you need to consider in order to gain muscle, okay? So guys, first things first, right? You have to be very aware of how much you're eating, okay, and what you're eating, okay? So if you are counting calories, for example, right, you have to be aware of how many calories you're eating, okay? In order to gain muscle, usually you will have to eat more calories than your maintenance, okay? So there's your maintenance, right? Your maintenance caloric level is when you are neither gaining weight nor losing weight, right? So you will have to eat slightly more calories than your maintenance level in order to gain muscle, okay? And that means you have to give your body enough nutrients, you have to also consider macronutrients and micronutrients, right? You have to give your body enough fats, you have to give your body enough carbohydrates, right? And enough protein, especially protein, right? Your muscles love protein, but of course they also love all the other macronutrients too, right? So make sure you're getting enough protein in, and you're eating slightly above your maintenance caloric level, okay? And what I mean slightly above is maybe, 100, 200, up to 500 calories above your maintenance level, okay? That would mean maybe having an extra snack, right? It's not really too many calories, honestly. Yeah. I don't know, like a handful of almonds, right, will already have like 100 calories. Okay, so one egg, right, that's like, I think 70 no, is it 70? I think it's 45 maybe. I'm not sure actually. Don't quote me on that, but it's maybe it's yeah, I think it's one full egg. I think it's 70 calories, but I don't remember. Don't quote me on that, like I said. So it could be like one egg, two eggs, right? Anyway, so yeah, it's just, guys, it's not a lot of food, right? Eating, you will eat this easily, right? So it's just like having maybe one more snack, right? A day, yeah. If you eat any more than that, you risk, gaining too much fat along with your muscle, okay? And that's also where bulkiness might come from too, okay? So be careful with that, especially, I guess it's a concern for both guys and girls, right? Also, once again, consider your body type, right? If you're if you're an ectomorph, right? If you've got this really thin body type, right? Small muscles, small bones, right? Then you don't have to worry about that too much, okay? In fact, you will probably need a lot more extra calories in order to gain muscle, okay? So you might even need like, you might need to ingest extra protein shakes, right? So you can get more calories in, because it will be very hard for you to get just calories from food, right? Once again, consider your body type, right? And yeah, that's very important to consider, okay? So let's go to training, right? Now that we've talked about eating enough, right, and eating slightly over your maintenance, caloric maintenance level, right, we will talk about the training, right? So usually, right, what you would do in order to gain muscle is that you have to place heavy loads on your muscles, right? So you have to do a lot of resistance training, right? Not a lot, actually, and I will talk about why, right? But you will have to lift weights about I would say 2 to 3 times a week, okay? Unless you want to split your exercises into different muscle groups, right? If you're going to do that, right, and if you're gonna exercise your muscles like separate muscle groups, if you're going to exercise like each one, like biceps, triceps, right, and so on, if you want to split them, right, then you can lift weights up to 5 times a week, okay? But most people don't do that, right? For most people, it would be optimal to exercise 2 to 3 times a week, okay? If you're a bodybuilder, maybe 5 times a week would be great, right? But you don't have to do that, okay? So once again, right, we want to reach hypertrophy, right? So what muscle hypertrophy is, right, is that it's an increase in growth of muscle cells, right? And it happens through progressive overloads, right? In other words, you have to lift very, very heavy weights and push your muscles to rip, right? And then repair themselves during rest time, okay? And actually, guys, believe it or not, your muscles, they grow during rest, okay? So you need to also be aware of how much you're exercising. Make sure you don't exercise too much, right? Or you will risk overuse injuries, right? And you might even get an overtraining syndrome, okay? So be careful, okay? You don't need to lift weights too much. You don't have to exercise for too long, okay? Keep it, if you're doing a really great job, right, keep it under an hour, okay? That's all that you need, 2 to 3 times a week, okay? That's plenty, okay? Your muscles will be recovering, they will be growing during rest, okay? And so you need that rest time, okay? More is not better. It's not, you guys just need to focus on efficiency, get those good workouts in, focus on quality over quantity, okay? And really it's going to help you, okay? Then of course, as far as sets go, right, you can do maybe 3 sets of 8 to 12 reps, okay? Or you can also do maybe 4 sets of maybe 4 to 6 reps. You can do both, okay? And yeah, push hard, right? Push hard and push to failure, right? What that means is that the last rep should feel almost impossible to lift, okay? It should be really, really difficult. You should be like going like, it should be very difficult to lift, right? Almost impossible. And so that's how you know you're going to failure, basically, okay? And so, yeah, what else? Just keep in mind also that, having muscle, by having muscle, right, you will be able to do so many different things, right? Having muscle on your body is just so beneficial. You'll be more energetic, right? You'll have more energy. Your metabolism will increase, okay? As 1 pound of muscle burns 13 calories, in comparison to fat, right? Fat only burns 4 calories. And so your metabolism will increase. You'll burn more calories throughout the day, which means you'll be able to eat more food, right? And your body shape will definitely look better, right? You'll just think of your body shape as like if you're starting out as like one block of ice, right? I saw a picture like that, right? By doing weight training, weightlifting, you're like chopping that ice, okay? And that's how your body, like, and eventually you'll be able to see this like hourglass shape, right? Or on guys, kind of like a similar deal, but not as defined as female shape, right? But you get the picture, right? Slimmer waist, less fat on your body, right? Also, just keep in mind, girls, right? For all of you girls down there, make sure that you don't, that you don't overdo it with body fat, right? Make sure you have enough body fat on your body, because fat also serves a function, right? It does cushion all of our organs, right? It helps us in case we fall, right? It protects us from falls, right? It kind of cushions our joints, our bones, right? Also, fat, that's where hormones are produced also, right? So by having a very low body fat, you will always be cold, right? First of all, I noticed this about myself especially. Whenever my body fat gets too low, I start getting really cold all the time, and also your sex drive will decrease, right? Like as I said, because your hormones, your hormones will be affected too, okay? And so your sex drive might decrease. You might have sleeping problems, right? And you might even have amenorrhea. I think it's called amenorrhea, right? It's a loss of menstrual period, basically. You might lose your period if you get to a body fat that is too low. Okay, so just be careful there, ladies. Okay, don't overdo it. Okay, guys can get away with a much lower body fat than girls. Okay, women, they need that body fat, right, just in case they get pregnant and so on, right? So we have a different physiology. We have to consider that. Okay. What else did I not cover here? Oh yeah, so as far as changes go, right, you can expect to see changes as a beginner within 8 weeks of training, okay? Honestly, guys, when I began to train and lift very heavy, I started seeing changes within like 1 to 2 weeks, honestly. You know, so I think it's kind of like personal, and it depends on where you're starting from, right? If you're like a complete newbie, then yeah, maybe 8 weeks is reasonable, right? So really it depends, right? Also, experienced lifters, they should see changes within 3 to 4 weeks, okay, of training. And also, you should expect to, you know, based on your, if you've got a proper diet, right, and if you've got a good lifting routine going, then you should expect to see changes within, you know, 1 to 2, I mean, not changes, sorry. You should expect to see gains of 1 to 2 pounds of muscle per month, okay? So that's like, that's ideal, right? Honestly, girls, ladies, and gentlemen, it's extremely hard to gain muscle. Maybe, once again, consider your body type here too, right? Mesomorphs will have a much easier time gaining muscle in comparison to an endomorph and an ectomorph, right? And so yes, once again, it does depend on your body type too, okay? Let's see. Also, right, we did talk about getting enough rest. We talked about nutrition, right? So now we will just talk about high intensity workout training, right? So if you want to stimulate that muscle growth hormone, right, which helps you gain muscle, right, we need to stimulate certain hormones like testosterone and human growth hormone, right, for us to gain muscle. So how you would go about doing that is also through high intensity interval training, right? Which basically means that you can do things like sprints, right? You can do things like, you can do it on your bicycle, you can do it while you're swimming, right? You can do it pretty much anywhere. You can do rowing, right? If you've got that rowing machine, you know, so, or you can just simply do running, right? And so intervals can be done pretty much anywhere in the swimming pool, right? What you can do is basically you would go hard all out for 30 seconds, right? And then you would stop and maybe walk for 30 seconds, right? And then you will repeat this cycle for 15 to 20 minutes, okay? Guys, trust me, if you do this right, you will be dead at the end of like 20 minutes, okay? So you will have like no energy left. It will be really, really difficult to do anymore, right? So that's how you know you're training well, you're going hard. You know, you're giving it your all. This is not meant to be done for a long time, okay? So this is what you need, okay? Basically add this to your training, you know, on top of the resistance training, right? And do this for about, I would say, do this 2 to 3 times a week, okay? Don't do it every single day, once again, right? Leave enough rest, guys, okay? You know, work out maybe 5 days a week, 4 days a week, okay? Everything else should be rest, okay? Just maybe do some walking on those days, okay? And yeah, guys, I promise you, if you follow this advice, you will see excellent results, and you will gain muscle, and you'll have that beautiful hourglass shape as ladies, and you guys will, you know, you'll start seeing great changes. Okay, I'll see you in the next section.